Hello there everybody, you all know me, I'm Sam Rhodes, I'm a comedy man, but before I was a comedy man, I was a music man. And what I'd like to share with you today is a couple of my nerdy undertakings. These are my top 10 all-time prog rock albums. Oh, only for the nerds. If you like Ariana Grande, turn off now because this is not going to be the video for you. In at number 10 we've got a brand new band. I'm loving this. This came out a couple of years ago. This is a lovely band called Thank You Scientist. Thank you, scientists, for letting us know about global warming. Yes, this album is called Stranger Heads Prevail, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Everybody should buy it. If you like sort of prog rock with a string section and trumpets and a singer who sounds like Michael Jackson but didn't fiddle anybody, then this is totally the album for you. At number 10, Thank You, Scientist, Stranger Heads Prevail. And you can see he's got a very strange head going on here, yes. Nice modern one to kick us off at number 10, I thought. Coming up next, I'm going to do a burp. I didn't do a burp, never mind. Coming up next, we've got another relatively modern, in the grand scheme of prog rock sort of outing. This band divide opinion. Some people say they don't even belong in the prog rock category. I say shut up. What they do is weird and interesting, so they're definitely a prog rock band. It's Primus. Yes, Primus in at number 9, best prog rock album. This is called Frizzle Fry. I love this album. I love the music. I love the aesthetic. I love that it's all weird sort of claymation. Oh, he's frying a man's head for his dinner. All the songs on this are amazing. It's got all the best Primus tunes on it. We've got Too Many Puppies. We've got Frizzle Fry. We've got John the Fisherman. Toys Go Winding Down. This is a beautiful, beautiful album. They did lots of really great stuff before and after this, but I think this really does it. And this came out 1989, 1990, so in a bit of a dry spell, the 90s for prog rock, but Primus were there, completely holding down the fort. So we've had one from the 2010s, one from the 1980s. Now this next one, prog rock fans are going to see what I lift up and they're going to run away in disgust. They're going to say, no way, I've got a rule, I'm only allowed to pick one album by each band that I've chosen for this list I've farted together. And this album I'm going to hold up now. Fans of this band are going to be instantly sick all over their keyboards if they're watching on their computer or on the train, if they're kind of watching this on the train. It's an album by Yes, but it's probably the least popular album by Yes. It's the Trevor Horn fronted Drama by Yes. Now this album and I go way back. Everybody said when I was young, in a pre-internet age, Yes are the best prog band, mate. You got to get into Yes. And I said, yes. So I went out, didn't I? And I bought the first one I found. And I loved the album cover of this. I think it's very mysterious. I think it's kind of cool. And for those of you who don't know, this is Trevor Horn was the singer on this album, who wrote Video Killed the Radio Star. It's a beautiful gatefold, very, very nice. He wrote some awesome, awesome stuff for Yes. White Car, Machine Messiah, and Temple's Fugit, which is by far my favourite, maybe my favourite bass lick of all time. Trevor Horn left the Buggles. Here he is. He left the Buggles, didn't he, to join Yes. And everyone said, oh, Trevor Horn, you've ruined the Buggles and you've ruined Yes by bringing your 80s pop sensibility into this 70s prog rock band. And he said, oi, shut up, you don't tell me what to do. Yes are my favourite band and I'm going to join Yes if I like. And then all the other members said, yeah, we like it. But then the public didn't like it. They did a tour and everybody said it was shit. But I've got to say, I genuinely adore this album. I think it's a piece of prog writing, really beautiful. As I said, it's very much on the tail end of when prog was good. It's sort of a early 80s outing, this. Yeah, 1980. So literally the earliest 80s you could have, 1980. And they made Drama, and I love this. And obviously Fragile's brilliant, all the other early Yes stuff is brilliant. But for me personally, this is the one. I really like this one. Right, that was what? That's 3. So that's 10, 9, 8. In at number 7, this was a hard choice. Because Frank Zappa's got to be in the list, doesn't he? Because if you know me, and you know what I like, you know I freaking love Frank Zappa. And Captain Beefheart as well. I'm like, he's got to be on the list. There are two, though, who didn't like being called prog rock artists. So what I've done, I've combined the two, and for my Zappa and Beefheart pick, I've picked a real obscure one. Now, I adore this album. This is a lovely album by Zappa and Beefheart called Bongo Fury. It was recorded live in concert. Very, very hard to get on CD. I don't know if they even actually did an official CD reissue of this album. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just like so archetypal of both of these amazing artists. You've got Frank Zappa's wonderful widdly weirdness and the wonderful Captain Beefheart, who, if you don't know, is named after his uncle's dick. His like trademark growly vocals. You got a song called Pufter's Froth, Wyoming Plans Ahead, which is just a brilliant piece of work, and also them doing Muffin Man live. And if you're a Frank Zappa aficionado, oh, you're going to want to hear this live rendition of Muffin Man, because it's brilliant. And look at them. Look how cool they look on the cover. Hey, Beefheart, are we going to do an album? Actually, he'll sound like that. Hey, Beefheart, are we going to do an album? And Beefheart's like, yeah, man, sing on an album, sing a song. We're going to make an album. Yeah, sing a song. It's great. It's basically that for 20 minutes. So if you're into that, then have a look at that. Right, that was 10987. Number 6. Now, I'm young in prog rock age. I don't know, I'm a young man. So what I've done is I've picked an album that is a prog rock album that's from when I was a young man. This is a beautiful thing. Once again, divides opinion a bit. Comes out in a time when prog rock is not popular at all. This is the height of grunge. And you have this wonderful album. This is Awake by Dream Theater. This is Dream Theater's second album. And it's a perfect fusion of prog rock and sort of Iron Maiden. So if you like listening to Iron Maiden and you think, wow, this is just not overblown enough, then what you need to do is listen to Awake by Dream Theater. I mean, this has got some of the wankiest music composition on I've ever heard. It's just overblown. It's very silly. The singing is kind of ridiculous and high pitched all the time. He's doing like, innocence faded. You know, he's like right up there. You get all sorts of cheesy ballady type songs on it, as well as some real hardcore, hard rocking jams. Yeah, there's a song in here called Erotomania, which is a 7-minute long instrumental, which I just think is beautiful and is a really wonderful example. Dream Theater, you know, people say they're obviously not in the classic era of prog, are they? They're much later on, 90s mostly. But it's good if you like this sort of thing. And I tell you what, when I was a teenage boy, this touched me like Michael Jackson touched those boys at his house. Right, next one. Once again, this is a more modern one. I think the last four, the last top four, they're going to be old classic prog rock guys. But this is another one. It's a newer outing for the old prog rock world. If I had to pick just one album that's affected me in my life personally that much, it's probably this one. This is Lateralis by Tool. This is a beautiful vinyl reissue they did really, really recently. Tool is like, what if a grunge band was a prog rock band? That's basically their setup. Hey, what if Alice in Chains were a prog rock band? That's basically what Tool is. All the songs are long, but it's not kind of overblown like Dream Theater. It's all quite understated. It's all in D, and this is a beautiful thing. Look at this. Woo, fancy pants. It's all mystic. It's all about Satan. They're like play a cool game where they pretend that they don't like anything or anyone, and they draw lots of demon symbols on everything, and then people go, oh, it's mysterious, and then they make everybody wait 13 years for a new album, and then they knock Taylor Swift off of the top 10 by doing a new album. And this is Lateralis, which in my opinion is their greatest work. I don't think they're ever going to better this. Nothing better than this before this, nothing better than this after this. And this album is actually the reason that I met my very bestest friend, who still is my friend, and we bonded over this particular album. So that's why I love it so much. If you don't know Tool, get into knowing Tool. New album's really good as well. Buy Lateralis basically, and then just listen to it forever. I played the drums to this every day. Love it. It's the best. Right. Next up, it's one of the absolute titans, and we're down into the top four. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the top four. In at number 4, Sam's best prog rock albums that he owns in his big record collection. Now, This band's another band like Tool and Dream Theater that's just massively, massively part of my life. I love it. I love everything about it. It's Rush. Now, Rush, how do you pick a best Rush album? That's the question. Most people go 2112, and I'd say as a song, 2112 is the best. Yeah, the single song 2112, but side B of 2112, little bit rubbish. Plus, tiny bit racist. They do, what is it, Passage to Bangkok, where they have that little bit of Chinese music that goes, and I'm like, don't do that, Rush. I really like you, but don't do that. So I have picked this particular Rush album. This is Hemispheres by Rush. There's a lot of going on in this. It's about brains. It's a man standing on a brain. He's naked and he's on his way to work. And he's going, oi, mate, put your clothes on. He says, no, mate, I live on a brain. You're the first man I've ever met anywhere. And he says, oi, do you know where Oxford Street is? I've got an important business meeting. And he says, fuck your business meeting. I'm on a brain. So that's the concept of this album. Rush look lovely on the inside of this. It's a classic prog rock album in that the first side is a 20-minute long song called Cygnus X1 Book 2. I mean, that's how you name a prog rock piece, isn't it? And it's all named after like famous gods. So you got Apollo, bringer of wisdom, Dionysus, bringer of love, Armageddon, the battle of heart and mind. Oh, this is proper good prog rock stuff, isn't it? And then on side 2, you got my favourite single short track that Rush ever made as well. You got The Trees, which is a lovely analogy for politics about trees. And it's just really, really good. And if you like high-pitched singing and power trios, I don't think there's a better album that contains high-pitched singing and power trios. So Hemispheres by Rush. It's also one of the very last ones they did that was like a proper prog rock album. After this, they started doing slightly shorter songs and moved into the 80s. But Hemispheres, oh, it's good. There's a naked man on it. He's also on the front of a Yes album, this same naked man. So he was, you know, prog rock known for not having many ladies into it. And they really doubled down on that by having a naked man on all the album covers. Right, we're down to our top 3 best prog albums of all time. Oh, it's exciting. It's like Top of the Pops or something. This next one is another one that I just adore. I just cannot get enough of this album. And what's weird is when I was young, I didn't like this band as much. They were my least favourite of the prog rock guys. But as I've gotten older and I've gotten more into it, I've gone, oh yeah, these guys were actually probably the best ones, especially the British bands. I mean, they were absolutely killing it all the time. It's Genesis. That's what it is. It's Genesis. Now, it's not... Boo! It's not Phil Collins fronted Genesis. Oh, Genesis, Phil Collins who divorced his wife via fax Genesis. This is Peter Gabriel dressed in ridiculous costumes Genesis, where they sing really long songs about nonsense. The opening track of this, Dancing with the Moonlit Night, I adore it. I mean, the opening lyrics, it's like a classic British folk tune, and then it just goes fucking mental, and they're like, and I'm like, yes, please, mate. And you can see here, it's like a weird painting. It's really evocative of the music. That's what I like about this album cover as well. It's very evocative of the music within. This man's trying to have a little sleepy, and these people are all pointing at him, going, oi, get off of that bench. And he's like, no, I'm having a kip. So it's a bit of the beginning. I'm going to sing it. It goes, can you tell me where my country lies? So the uniform to his true love's eyes. And then Peter Gabriel's voice is too high. So then it goes, it lies with me, cried the Queen of Maybe. And it's really nice because it starts with like, you know, a cappella singing. And it's got Phil Collins on it, but not singing, just drumming. And I've got to say, when he's just drumming, I like him a lot more than when he opens his mouth. So that's a good one. Right, we're down to the top 2. Sam's vinyl prog rock collection man. Okay, so number 2. This album makes me cry more than any other album ever does. It's another late in the game prog rock album in that it come out much, much later. We're talking 2005. That's almost the latest one on the album. The Stranger Heads Prevails, the newest one. But this is a band I love so much. I've literally got bits of their stuff tattooed on me. This is Coheed and Cambria. This is the best prog rock album of the past 30 years, in my opinion. You can tell it's a prog rock album because of its ridiculous title. It's called Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Volume 1, From Fear Through the Eyes of Madness. And that's what you call an album, isn't it, if you're making a prog rock album. You can see on the inside it's got a big guillotine, and the man, he's going, oh no, they're going to cut my head off. And there's some naked people on the guillotine, because that's good, isn't it? That's prog rock. It's got all of the trappings of a proper prog rock album, in that side 3 and side 4 of this double disc release are a 4-part prog rock epic. The Willing Well, it's called, is the 4-part prog rock epic, and it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant, this, because it takes everything that was good about the mid-2000s and it puts it with some prog rock. So you've kind of got what if emo and prog rock were the same thing, and the singer was the coolest man in the world, and he's got big hair as well. So if you like big hair, obviously you can't see the hair when you listen to the album, but you get a good feel for it, which is really nice. Yeah, every track on this is a stone cold banger. I can't listen to this one track at a time. If I put this on, it's going on all the way through. It's long, it's beautiful, the lyrics are beautiful. It's also got possibly the most romantic song ever written, which is a song called Wake Up. If you don't know it, you should listen to it. This is Coheed and Cambria, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Volume 1, From Fear Through the Eyes of Madness. And the cover is just a big 4, because it's the 4th album. So that also all lines up. Right, number 1, best prog rock album of all time. Lots of people talk about what's the best prog rock album of all time. A lot of people say it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I say shut up, the Beatles were not a prog rock band. They were good, they were important, but they weren't the best, were they? Yes, obviously loads of stuff. Genesis, loads of stuff. I've covered them, haven't I? There was like a big 4, wasn't there? Yes, Genesis, Pink Floyd. Now, I haven't picked a single Pink Floyd album because I love Pink Floyd, but it's all a bit long and slow and boring. So I've picked stuff that's wiggly and cool because that's what I like. In the number 1 spot, I've picked what I consider to be the absolutely archetypal prog rock album. This come out 1969. I'm lucky enough to own a first pressing, which I'm going to hold up any second now, and you're all going to go, whoa, if you know what you're looking at. This is King Crimson, isn't it? This is In the Court of the Crimson King. Now this album, I think, is just prog rock personified. This came out in 1969 and it just went, right, this is what prog rock is. It's long, it's complicated, it's kind of about Satan. It's kind of a mix between jazz rock, fusion, and some really chilled out odd folk stuff. It's got a guitarist on it called Robert Fripp, and he's the main man. He kind of come up with all the sounds. And they say, oh, Robert Fripp, stand up when you play your guitar. And he says, no, fuck off, mate. I'm going to sit down always when I play my guitar, and I'm going to play it properly instead of showboating, which is kind of a big step, and that's what makes this prog rock. I like this album cover. Sadly, this album artist, he died only a couple of years after making this really seminal album artwork. And I love that the front cover, you can see he's got his mouth open, and it's almost as if he's saying, ah! That's what he's saying. And then he goes, But yeah, it's kind of got the look and sound and feel of a prog rock album. And if you look inside this beautiful gatefold cover, we got a moon, and he's a bit stoned, isn't he? He's like, hey, woo, get me a biscuit. Can I have some penguin biscuits, please? And I'm like, how many do you want? And he's like, I'll have 3 penguin biscuits, please. And he's got his hand out here as if to say, go on, give me the penguin biscuits, I love them. You can see lots of complicated lyrics here. I really like how the opening track and the closing track are big, heavy noises, and then everything in between is quite soft and lovely. Just brilliant performances all round on this album. And that year they opened for, the day this was released, they opened for the Rolling Stones in Hyde Park, which is, if I could time travel, I wouldn't go back and kill Hitler. I'd go back and watch King Crimson open for the Rolling Stones in Hyde Park. That's what I would do. So, yeah, that's In the Court of the Crimson King. That album is over 50 years old. 50 years old now. And this is a first pressing, and you can see I've kept it in beautiful and immaculate condition, and it's still really, really good. So, yeah, that's the best prog rock album of all time. This has been Sam Rhodes' list of of 10 prog rock albums that he's got in his albums. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had a nice time looking at it. And also do come and see my comedy, or find me on Facebook. It's Sam Rhodes Comedy Explosion on Facebook. That's what it's called, Sam Rhodes Comedy Explosion. I haven't got samrhodescomedyexplosion.com, but I love prog rock. If you're in a prog rock band, or if you've got an album I haven't held up to look at, you should write me a letter and then I'll ignore it. Anyway, it's good to see you. Goodbye.